So, as someone who's about to be 40 this year,
Okay.
I kind of wanted to, because I'm in a weird space
Mhm.
with age. I feel like, um, I don't know. I think it's like a lot of millennials. I,
Mhm.
we've we've physically we are older, but
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like I'm still stuck in a certain age.
Yeah.
Like
I get that.
I still feel like, oh, I'm just too young. Like I'm too young for children.
Yeah.
Like I'm too young for marriage. But like I'm almost 40, so it's like this weird place of like I'm getting older, but my mind is not catching up. And then, you know, when I look in the mirror, I see these few gray hairs popping out of nowhere. What's
Yeah.
happening? Like I'm
Disrespectful.
it's just something I'm not used to, and I feel like it's happening all at one time. So I'm
Well,
kinda
that's how I felt too,
yeah.
honestly. And I totally get where you're coming from when you're saying, like, I don't feel like I caught up. And I don't think it's really a matter of catching up. I really feel like because we lived all the experiences from 20s, crazy 20s
Yeah.
to, crazy 30s and life changes that we're still all of them adolescent all the way up to they all encompass us, right? And I
Yeah.
think there's a sense of turning 40, you're supposed to be, because that's what I was thinking, you're supposed to be expected to be this kind of way or have this mindset or this is what 40 looks like.
Right.
There's no rule book to being 40. There is no such thing. 40 is whatever you make it. It really is just the age with more lived experiences, if you ask me. So that's what 40 looked like for me. I know from 37 up, I experienced a lot of changes, like I was in school for 40.
Uh, yeah.
From the shedding away of friendships. I just feel like I'm in a new place, all because of what I experienced leading up to this. That
Mhm.
40 does feel different for me because of all that I went through. I had like a really rough patch leading up to
Mhm.
40, but now I feel um more free, like unafraid because I went through all the shit already.
Yeah.
That it is what it is at this point. Like, I'm not afraid to do certain things that I was much more fearful of because what if, when all the what ifs happened and it was
Yeah.
like, well, shit, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I got
Here
more
already. Yeah.
experience. So,
Yeah, and it also kinda goes to, like, we're only this age once.
hmm
So, the expectations of what to expect when we turn a certain age is false because we haven't been there before. We can't expect something we've never experienced.
right,
So,
right.
with that being said, like, do you have any expectations of yourself now that you're 40 or any, um, maybe, like, thoughts or values that you've once held strong in your 30s and now when you're turning 40, it's, like, completely different? Any outlooks that are different for you?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot. And someone said 40 weird. Thank you. But yeah, I've had man. So growing up or even 30s, you know how you make this thing and say, when I turn 40, I should have
Yeah,
this, this, this. I was the one with all of that. Okay.
yeah,
And as I kind of started to build my business out into this, what I thought I wanted, which was an empire and franchises, and experiencing the burnout, experiencing the frustration, experiencing turmoil in friendships and, family members passing and all that other stuff. It really made me sit with myself. I
yeah,
had a period of isolation before this that made me sit with myself and made me look at things differently, what was more important than what wasn't. And it was like, I don't know where I got this idea from. I think I was busy proving to myself that I could and to others and for my
yeah,
parents. That was one big thing too. Cause you want to make them proud, even at this big old age. And I realized that they're just happy if I'm happy, just like my kids. And so I laid down the idea that I had to be this big, entrepreneur with this mass amounts of money. And I realized that you know, the number amount is not what mattered, is how I felt that mattered, you know? So those dreams of having all the materialistic kind of was like, if I'm good with who I am,
Mhm.
I'm better with that than to have materialize all these things that don't make me happy. So instead of like this 30-year-old who's working hard to achieve all the things by this certain age, I became this 39-year-old going into 40 who's like questioning everything. And why do I
Mhm.
want this? And will this make me happy? To being, you know what? Be happy within yourself. And so that made me feel whole. That made me feel good instead of all the material things that I felt like I was chasing after.
Now, where do you have siblings, right?
I do.
Where do you rank?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Yep.
So, I think I feel like because 'cause I'm the oldest too, I feel like there's a lot of oldest daughter syndrome
Mhm.
where it this
Expectations.
unrealistic pressure to
Yeah.
just overachieve and be on top and be your best because you wanna
Mhm.
be the example for your other siblings. Um, but a lot of that I feel like was placed on myself. I burdened myself with that particular pressure that was unrealistic. Because when I look to, being unemployed at this age is very tough, especially when you feel like you had to your identity was your career.
Mhm.
The first thing people ask you is, "What do you do?" As a sense of getting to know you. And then, for some reason, there's this I've kind of been battling with this shame of like, well, I'm unemployed. I know I'm not the only one that's unemployed, but it's shameful for me to say it because I didn't expect myself to get to this point.
Mhm.
None of us did actually. It's just happening to people.
Yeah.
Um, so when
Hey, Curtis.
oh yeah, hey Curtis. When I talk to my parents and my siblings, I'm like, I just kind of feel so ashamed. Like I'm so down on myself because I feel like I'm in a hamster in a wheel and I can't
Mhm.
get things in motion. And
Mm.
it's like I don't want to disappoint anybody. And they look at me crazy like you have never done that. You have never
Mhm.
disappointed us once. So what would prompt you to even think like that? And I think that kind of goes along with the older daughter syndrome, where
Mhm.
you feel this immense pressure of not only being first,
Mhm.
being the only one for a long time, kind of used to everybody's eyes on you anyway. So it's just
Mhm.
like this psychological pressure that I shouldn't have been putting on myself from the get-go, and I probably should have talked to my parents more about it. I feel like
Yeah.
I didn't. They probably could have
Mhm.
alleviated that pressure a long time ago if I just would have stopped taking things on the chin so much and just kinda going through the motions with it.
Mhm.
Which knowing because I've read a lot of your stuff, I've read a
Mhm.
lot of your notes, and I think the power of the pivot is like the perfect topic to talk about
It
because
is.
everybody is forced to do it at this point. Pivoting is
Right.
is not even an option.
Mhm.
It's like if you're not pivoting, then you're gonna either be homeless, you're gonna be hungry, it's gonna be a real struggle for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So when did you realize you had to pivot, and what was that experience like?
Yeah. I kinda wanna piggyback on what you said as well with that whole, eldest daughter syndrome. And for me, I didn't even know that was a thing until I joined Substack and, saw a Black Stack talk about it, Jackie.
Mhm,
And, I wrote an article on it. And so, I had to do a lot of mental decluttering. And, I remember calling my mom because it was my parents are divorced, right? and they are in synchronous some kind of odd way when it comes to me, right? So I'm my dad's only child, my mom's oldest child, and it's just two of us for my mom. And it'll be like he'll call and then my mom follow up right after. And I'm like, and if it's a day they don't call, they both don't call. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, um, it was my 39th birthday. And my dad said, I wish you whatever you wish for yourself. And he's never said that before. But I took that deeply. And then my mom said the same thing to me. And I was like, but I felt like they released me from the expectation. It was, I wish whatever you wish for yourself. It was like, I feel like they saw me dealing with a lot in business and personal. Like I had the world on my shoulders. They could just see it spiritually and just everything, which and I did. My business wasn't going good. So this goes back into the pivot. And I had to file for bankruptcy for my business. A lot of things happened. I had a whole, brick and mortar. I had to end up going back home and doing business out of my home. So it was a lot of guilt,
Yeah.
frustration, feeling ashamed. And I think they were actually just very proud of me that I actually made a career out of a God given talent that I had. And they never looked at me as a failure, but someone who actually dared to dream and to try and who may be pivoting. But it was kind of like them saying, you didn't fail. I just wished whatever you desire. And so that released me from the stress and the burden of me trying to build this thing back instead of pivoting and allowing it to flow into the area that, God, the universe, source has for me. And I really don't even know what that looked like. I'm still pivoting,
Yeah.
but I just kind of naturally follow whatever guidance or instinct I get on the next step. Because what I was doing before was trying to build it back, and it just felt like I kept failing, you know, and I was making me more and more depressed because it's like
Mhm.
I'm 39, I'm almost 40, and I was supposed to have this by this age. Like I was
Yeah.
almost
Mhm.
there. And then COVID came and fucked everything up. But it really is just, I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like COVID was a disruptor and it made everyone question, what do I really want to do? Does this make me happy? Am I happy? What does happiness even look like for me? And so that's what led me to write the book that I published. That's on Amazon, called Finding Your Path to Passion, Purpose, Prosperity Through Divine Alignment. And that's the reason why I wrote it, because it was just like, well, maybe this was just a step to see all that I can do. I was able to
Mhm.
create six figures in a business. I never thought I could do that. That wasn't even the thought process. I was not a single stay at home mom. And, I was trying to figure out how to make money, and in ways that I wanted to, because I always was an entrepreneur, never like working for anybody. And I was able to do that and flourish for 10 whole years until this happened. But it just shows that I can do it and I can do it elsewhere. So I'm still in the pivot, figuring things out as I go. And I feel like that's just life. You're going to go through different phases of life that's going to cause you to pivot. And sometimes better than what you thought, where you would end up.
Yeah. I think what I'm starting to realize is that
Girl, you said
yeah, I
something. I'm
read that too.
sorry.
I
I saw it today and I wanted to talk about that. I was just like, yo, this gonna be on TV? But okay, that's a whole different topic. So
yeah, we're gonna have to circle back to that. But what I was saying is that I'm realizing that life as I know it has more questions than answers.
yeah.
And I think once we become curious enough to seek out those answers, that's when the true life happens. Um,
Mhm.
the curiosity of me, writing my own ebooks and starting my own advocacy wasn't something that I could even imagine myself doing
Mhm.
during the pandemic. because during
Mm.
the pandemic, I was getting tunnel surgery, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm at sitting at home with everybody else injured, thinking about my whole life trajectory." So it 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 definitely put a glitch in everyone's matrix. I think all of us were floating on this utopian cloud of love, peace, and hair grease when we were forced to wake up and kind of realize, okay, what's happening? Not with just
Yeah.
within ourselves, but around the world.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people were selfish in the thought process and um before during COVID, before COVID, I feel like it was like a lack of empathy with people. Everybody was on go,
Yeah.
and nobody was really forced to sit, ponder, think, self-assess.
Or didn't have time to.
Yeah, so it kind of threw everybody for a loop. Um, Many people think that the pandemic was needed, but now following up through the pandemic, we have job loss, we have, violence, we have Donald just being Donald. I don't even know what he doing.
Ah, Lord.
Last time I checked, he has to wear Depends. I don't know.
Okay.
He's
I don't even keep
he
up.
he's like people are saying, like experts are saying that he has like frontal lobe dementia.
Oh, wow.
Um, I saw a video where he said he didn't realize he was the president. He said, "When I was president." Like, you're the current president. So, he's not even
Yeah.
qualified to even run to the
Yeah.
bathroom at this point
Yeah.
because he's just
I
and
really
I
think that COVID revealed a lot, though. Just in that, job losses, it just shows the crumbling of America corporations, how they can't survive without certain criterias and measures, from how corrupt the government is to have a Donald Trump in there. And, he's a, convict basically. It's just interesting. It's
it's like
interesting.
he a convict with all these baby mamas living in the
Right.
White House. That says a
Okay.
lot.
Okay. It says a lot.
Barack could never. That's all Imma say about
Never.
that.
Ugh.
Um, but I think I kind of wanna, like, to go into because change is gonna happen.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
You
inevitable.
either can lean into it or run from it.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point in your pivot to where you had to fight against the grain, to resist, like, "No, I'm not ready."
I feel like I've always just been thrown into it, honestly, whether I was ready or not. Like, I always try I'm a keep it safe type of person. So I'm this person who goes inch by inch, step by step to see how far I can go. And then other times God just throws me off the cliff and I'm just like, wait, I wasn't ready,
Yeah.
But I know now that I'm 40 and have enough experiences of being thrown out there that it's always for my better. Even if it doesn't look like it, because change never feels good. It's never comfortable. It's always unsure and you're in the unknown and you're like, yo, at least give me a little so I know, which way to pivot or what to go, but you never really know until you know. And so I just had to something I say a lot is that I trust my inner being. I trust God in this moment. I trust that everything is working out for my better. Because if I don't, it's like anxiety will take over me and it can be very
Yeah.
debilitating. Shoot, my first real panic attack was at, 37 and anxiety dealing with the whole pivot. I've never been in a situation where I had to say, dang, I'm in over my head. The expenses is this high. I've never had that situation. So it was my first bankruptcy. And I thought it was like going to be something that was life ending, you know?
Yeah.
And turns out it didn't. and I survived. And people do, but you don't know until you go through that you can come out on the other side better. Actually, it was the best thing I did. I wish I would have did it sooner.
Yeah, okay,
So,
when you say something just, like clarity, um, you said God pushed you off the cliff.
mhm.
So God knew you was ready before you did.
Yeah. Yep. I just had to catch him like, oh shit, I'm flying.
You better start flapping. You go girl.
You can go, or you gonna try.
Yeah.
So, and I think God knew that I was gonna try, and so I'm grateful that I did it because I did gain strength and the audacity to try without knowing what's on the other side. It's like I guess it's what they call building your faith muscle. That's kind of what it feels like. And I understand and heard people say it, but not until you actually go through something and you be like, this stretched me.
Yeah.
Shit.
It tests your faith.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you're trying to if God wanna know how well you rocking with him, he's gonna say, "Is you with me or against me?"
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think I had to learn that too, quickly,
Mhm.
because me trying to do things by myself burning me out
Yeah.
and caused anxiety, and
It
it caused
does.
panic attacks and sleepless nights. But,
Yes.
when God says lean on him, you better start doing it. You're gonna lean yourself right into the ground because you're gonna kill
Yeah.
yourself trying to fight against something that you could have been alleviated with just faith, prayer, and understanding.
Yeah.
Um, Looking back on my life, I feel like I've been pivoting, but I didn't know it was a pivot.
Right. Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think when you're in a moment, you're just going through the moment.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get to the other side.
And
You're
just
not
walk
thinking
you
about
is being unruly.
the trials and tribulations during that time. You just want it to end.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
when I look back, when I was what, 9 or 10 years old, I was diagnosed with scoliosis. And then
Oh.
I had surgery at 12. And then I was homeschooled. So even with that, I had to learn how to pivot as a 12-year-old girl
Yeah.
in this weird space. I didn't have friends. I wasn't at school. I had to stop playing softball because I was healing. So that was like the first main pivot that I recognized that kind of hit me hard, to learning to adjust,
I
learning
hadn't thought
to
about that, but that's true. I
yeah.
think it's our awareness of ourselves at this age, and we weren't aware that we were always doing it, and I guess we
Mhm,
had, like, blind faith or unaware faith, right?
mhm,
That things will work out. So that's true. I had surgery at 11. That's interesting. So I experienced the same thing having to be home and heal, and everybody's at school. Then I broke my ankle.
yeah,
I was one of those accident prones. Then I moved to Georgia in ninth grade, and that was a huge pivot for me, having to, find new friends and all this stuff. So it's like, I think back, you make me think back that I have experienced change like this before, but I guess we weren't aware of it emotionally, in the sense that we are now.
mhm.
And we're just like, oh, this is a lot, you know?
Yeah, we were kids.
Yeah.
We didn't
It's
know
more
too much of
flexible.
anything.
Yeah. More moldable and pliable,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and just like language, I don't
Yeah.
remember saying anything about pivots when I was
Right.
12, or
Yeah.
self-awareness when I was 12. It's
Right.
just it's where we've been evolving, but,
Mhm.
being forced to sit down, like you said, has we're allowed to view things we've known that were there, but we could see it in a clearer picture,
Mhm.
you know? Um, Pivoting for me, I think is gonna be a continuous thing. I don't think once you've got it in your brain that you need to pivot, I think you're gonna be forever on that pivot. I don't think it ends.
I love that you said that because when I started going into the pivot, like you said, we've always been dealing with changes. No 2 days are the same. So you're
Mhm.
always evolving anyway, day to day, honestly.
Yeah.
And so when you said that, I was just like, that is so true because if the fear was that something changes and you're always evolving, then you're going to stay in anxiety. So I try to live in the flow. And I think as I grown into 40, stuff just don't get to me as they used to because being the oldest child too,
Mhm.
right? Kind of accustomed to having things done the way we want them, especially if you're the oldest and my brother is like 9 years apart. So it's kind of like, I'm gonna figure out my way and it usually works out. But then when change comes, I feel like I've always been a person that, you know, change was a little bit challenging for me, because I wanted to go this type of way if it's going to change.
Yeah.
But now as I got older, I release that
Mhm.
and surrender to whatever flow will happen. And it's not so much like on edge, like, oh, I'm trying to control the circumstances of which this change occur,
Yeah.
It's just like I receive whatever you have, and then I trust that, my instincts will give me action to match whatever is going on here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I also think pivoting is also mindset. It's not always something tangible that you can see and feel. I think
Mhm.
also by me being the oldest, I always felt like I had to be the superhero to my siblings because it's
That
four of
too.
us. And so
Yeah.
I always felt like I had to have it together. I had to always have the answers, you know, always show up, even on the days that
Yeah.
I'm tired. But these past few years, I feel like the roles have been reversed and they are big brothering and big sistering me,
Mm.
um, emotionally, spiritually, um, these last couple years, I've been shown so much love from them. And
Oh, that's so
that's not
nice.
even it's not even for me asking. It's that they realize, that I am trying. So it kind of goes
Mhm.
back to what your parents were saying to you. They were just relieved that you could do it. It's like
Yeah.
this burden of and this and it's like they know, but they didn't say anything. It's like, I
Yeah,
wish
it's
you would have
like
told me that
that.
we could have bared this a long time ago. But I
Yeah.
think they're just relieved that they could be present in another way in my life,
Mhm.
like I was in theirs. So I it's kinda make because I don't ask for nothing, you
Yeah,
know? So it
never,
feels
because 'cause you're
weird.
expected to be independent
Yeah,
as the eldest.
yeah, so it feels weird, like, "You giving me money for what?"
Right.
And it's like, "Just it's yours, you do whatever you want with it." I'm like, "Really?" So it's kinda
Yeah.
like somebody who doesn't really ask for nothing, it was uncomfortable receiving all of this love, like, last year, my sister took me to the Beyonce concert.
Yeah.
Didn't expect a thing. I'm reading rejections from companies I applied to, and then she hits me with the concert, and we had a ball.
That is
So
so
it's like,
nice.
for them to even think of me in that light and want to see me happy just like I wanna see them happy is
I
has
experienced that
has
too.
allowed for me to pivot my mindset on what love is, what
Yeah.
my role is as
Yes.
the oldest, and what their
Mhm.
roles are as they wanna protect me just as much as I wanna protect them, and I had to learn how to receive it.
That part. Okay, part of the eldest daughter syndrome is
Mhm.
that we are in our mind, I don't think anybody put this on us, but in our mind, we thought we always had to be independent and,
Yeah.
we didn't want to rely on anybody. I don't feel like I felt like I wasn't allowed to rely on my parents. And,
Mhm.
but everybody was relying on me. Right. And this 40th birthday party totally changed that mental perspective because I got a surprise 40th birthday party from my mom. She threw it. It was
Wow.
beautiful. It was amazing. And she spent a lot of money. And I did not think that that was something that was gonna happen, and for some reason, I don't know, it was weird on receiving it, you know? It felt
Mhm.
like, "Wow, okay, they do love me." And then my husband gave me a trip to a surprise location, and I'm just like, all this love. So, before that, I was saying, allow yourself to receive, but not only receive, but ask.
Mm.
Because I don't ask as the
Right?
eldest child. So how are you going to receive if you never ask? But the fact that they did anyway without me even asking was saying that not that they won't never give you something, they will, because look what they did. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just gotta ask, you know?
And it reminded me that I am seen.
And I'm seen, and I'm loved, and I'm
Yes,
for,
appreciated.
and I'm deserving.
Yes, 'cause,
Yes.
I've been helping my, sister, uh, homeschooling her oldest daughter, which is my niece, and, I'm always big on literacy education. I
Mhm.
feel like as an aunt, it's my duty to be that extra, um, nurturer to my
Mhm.
nieces and nephews. That's just how I am. So
Mhm.
it was no question that, if she's getting homeschooled, okay, what do we have to do? What's the syllabus? I wanna know. I wanna know
Right.
everything about what's going on. And then, it came to a point where it was a parent teacher conference and my sister couldn't make it. So for her to
Mm.
trust me to step in to ask the teacher the right questions and, making sure her education and her learning experience is something that she understands was a blessing to all of us. Um,
Mhm.
and what I noticed during for education is a lot of teachers don't know who gonna show up for their kid
Yeah.
until you start showing up for your kid.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, this teacher is looking at me on the screen and she says, "Wow, I can't believe that she has all this support." And I'm like, "What do you mean you can't believe it? This is what we do here."
Right.
So, you know, I'm not getting paid for any of this. It's just that I love and appreciate my nieces enough that if I'm here to help, I want to help. So it was
Mhm.
like two Fridays ago. My sister comes in with this big basket. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's this gift for? She said it's for you. I'm like, for
Uh-huh.
what? She's like, well, you are helping out, you know, with the schooling and I'm at work and this is a basket of appreciation.
Aw.
I'm like, and
That's so
it's
sweet.
me being weird. Like, I didn't ask this. This is natural to me. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But then it's
Yeah.
like, down the line, I don't want to be the person, well, I helped her out and there was no thank you. You know what I mean? It gets weird.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd rather for her to do that to then I feel seen and that I am appreciated. But
Mhm.
just know that I didn't ask for it. I appreciate you appreciating me, trusting me
Already.
enough to help with this education. I've been out of school. I don't know what's
Mhm.
going on with this online thing. It's weird to me.
But do you
But
think part of that is us trying to remain humble that that makes us feel uncomfortable receiving reward or when deep down we actually do desire that?
mhm,
But we're just kinda like, humble yourself. This is something you're supposed to do. And I think we normalize some of the things, and then sometimes we become prey to predators, but that's a different story.
yeah, the kindness for weakness type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. But then it's like, who made up that rule? Is
Right.
it societal? Like,
It is societal. And then sometimes I kinda go down a rabbit hole and think it's, like, systemic racism as well,
yeah,
to remain humble and not say, "Yeah. I'm a graduate, I have a master's. Yeah, I can do that. I'm that girl, when they do it all the time and they get seen for it, and this is how they get these roles because they speak on those things, but whereas we're more humble, reserved, as the oldest, just kind of do showing by doing
Mhm.
and overworking ourselves when you could just kind of be like, yeah, this is who I am, be confident in it. I feel like humbleness can somewhat take away confidence. How do you feel about that? Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, yeah, hi. I agree.
Hmm.
And I feel like, before I turn 40 this year, I feel like my mind and body is preparing for the next phase,
Yeah.
which means to be to being bold, to
Hmm.
being truthful, to standing 10 toes down for yourself and other people. So, you know, I've been heavy in the Substack notes. I don't know if you could tell,
Yes.
but a lot of what I write is a reminder to myself
Same.
that you are that person.
Yeah.
And
I even wrote that. I said, I'm that girl on my notes because I have to remind myself. I have to stop. Everybody tried to humble me because when I would have this quiet confidence, it
Mhm.
even was loud that
Yep.
people would try to humble that. And I was just like, no, self acceptance. I am who I am. How I am is how I am. And I love that about me.
And then there's you just know that some things you're not gonna get from people.
And that's okay.
Which
Yeah.
is yes, it is okay. But at the
Hmm.
same time, you should be brave and bold enough to give it to yourself.
Period.
As much as I like words of affirmation and I would love to hear you're a good job you doing a good job every day. I
Hmm.
know the way of life is that's not gonna happen. So
Yeah.
if I don't tell myself, then it won't get
Period.
said.
Exactly. I like my own post, honey.
So a lot of my notes is like reminders to myself that you've came a long way. You're
Yeah.
doing a good job.
Mhm.
You are that person,
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
right now I do feel like I'm leaning into the gifts God has for me. It
Yeah.
is to advocate for Black women. It is to tell my story. It is to bring back authenticity because at one time I was told that I was too authentic.
That's those people trying to humble you.
And then me hearing that at 24, from an instructor that I admired,
Mhm.
I was like, "Well, we're not the same." I
Yeah.
said, I can never be overly authentic." I said, "What do you mean, too real?"
Yeah.
And she was kinda nudging me that I had to shuck and jive for people. No.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's how it's for me with family. And I think if you hear it enough times from family, you start to believe it. But then what started happening was, um, outside people, like I said, became prey, right? Because I started to believe what they were saying. But it was like when people want to mistreat you or take advantage of you, they're going to tell you that kind of things.
Yes.
And that's when I did a lot of the healing work mentally, spiritually, to realize that you are not too much and you are the way you are supposed to be. God made you that way for a reason. They are not given the same purpose that you were given. So they're
Yeah.
not going to show up in the light that you show up in. And it's going to look too bright and too much for them. But that's not your audience, that's your family. I had to go back to the Bible for that one. Because
It's
Jesus
true.
went to church and it was like, ain't you Joseph, child? Ain't you a carpenter? What you talking about? They ran him out the church and was throwing rocks at him. I was just like,
Yes.
wait.
Yes.
So Jesus went through that. Your family gonna do that to you too. So don't listen to them. You're not called to them,
Yeah.
you know. So I had to work on that because that messed with my mental, you know.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Evelyn asked, how can you be too authentic? I think for me, I had the gift of advocating for myself before I even knew what that was. During that time, I was in school, and the school was over. I made dean's lists. I had a 4.0 GPA, and their job was to help me with job placement.
Mhm.
So I would go above and beyond, even showing up to the building, to ask these people, okay, what's on the board today? I'm still looking for work.
Mhm.
So I guess I was too authentic because I didn't accept that they didn't have nothing for me when I knew my classmates were getting jobs. Because I'm taking it personal because
Yeah.
here I am busting my butt to make sure I get good grades. I did my part. I'm funding your schooling by getting on the dean's list. And the fact that I'm questioning how you're going to help me, I guess I was too authentic for that because they didn't expect that from, I guess, from me. Because at the time
Mhm.
I was the quiet and reserved person. I was the person that's let me just put my head down and work, and not only that, it was months after my uncle passed away. So I was already in this weird space
Mm.
of grief, but then I knew I had to finish school. So it was like, you know, I feel like I was deserving of at least an interview. So the fact that you saw me on the list and you purposely looked over me to help someone else,
Mhm.
there was a problem with that. So
Mhm.
I met with the manager. I I brought it up
Yeah.
to the dean.
Oh, yeah.
I set up a meeting, and then I guess my confidence and the belief in myself was just too much for that person.
Yeah.
But even with that, that's a personal problem. I have
Exactly.
to fight for me in these
You have to
spaces.
advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
Or
So it's like if I didn't say anything, then I wouldn't get the help. And I
yeah.
wouldn't, reveal to you guys that there's a glitch in your system here because what you
Correct.
promised during admissions is not what's happening. So
Mhm.
I think that's where the over authenticity came from. But I'm like, if that's what it is, that's just what it is.
Yeah. It kinda goes back to when people wanna do you wrong and don't want you to say anything
It's
about
just
it. So
projection. It's just they're
yeah.
just like projection. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of people who want to throw their stuff on you.
And I realize that too, even, in the industry that I am, in the beauty industry. Doing hair, you get a lot of clients who project stuff on you, and you have to know, um, just know that it's not you. You know, you did your job well. Sometimes you realize that their husband doesn't like them with this type of look. And so now they're taking it out on you and saying they don't like the hair, which when they left, they loved it for them. But because now their spouse didn't love it on them and they loved it, it's kinda like, "Well, I don't like what you did, and it has nothing to do with me." So I really had to be educated on what a projection is because people just wanna throw stuff at you to make themselves feel good or feel better about whatever it is that they're going through, you know? So they gotta
Yeah,
find somebody to blame or put it on to. And
yeah.
so, yeah.
You just end up carrying unnecessary stuff.
Yeah.
You know, now
And I was just talking about energetic clearing because I have to do that a lot. I'm like, I can be very empathic, right? And dealing with
Mhm.
clients over the years, I became more and more so. I don't know what happened. So I feel energy a lot. And so to clear that space, because I realized that sometimes you're carrying it with you and it doesn't belong to you, like this is not my stuff. Wait a minute. So I have to do an energetic clearing. I so believe in that before. If you would have talked to me long ago, I'd have been like, that's a bunch of woo woo. But honey, energy is real. That's a
Yeah.
spiritual thing.
I also notice people tend to do that on things they don't understand.
Mhm,
And what I'm learning is that what's set out for me may not be for you to understand because it's set out for me to do.
mhm.
You just be the audience here. I don't
Yeah,
you questioning me on where my path is going doesn't help me none because what's for me will be for me. And
period.
sometimes it doesn't need an explanation for it.
Mm-mm.
Now, the best thing people can do is just sit back and watch. You know,
Yes.
you just can't explain your path to people.
No,
It's because it's not meant for them to understand because it's not their path to walk.
right, and sometimes you're not even, clear on the path because God be
Look,
like,
child,
"Oh,
I'm just
you
walking,
thought I
okay?
just let you think that."
I am just walking somewhere. You coming or not?
Right, right.
So it's like, what are you doing? Oh, hey, I'm living. I'm pivoting.
Yes.
I'm learning.
And so,
Uh,
it goes back to what you were saying with the whole being 40 and you're expected to have, like, a title.
yeah.
That can be very draining because for me, it was like, "Oh, do I tell them I'm in the beauty industry? What in the beauty industry?" Because people wanna say, "Oh, you're a licensed professional, da, 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 da." I'm actually I built a business with and made 6 figures without even being a licensed cosmetologist. I'm not one. And so I hated always feeling that way because it made you feel small. Like, "Oh, she's not a licensed professional," but it's like, I do braids, and I do amazing natural hair braids, and crochet braids. That's what I'm known for, and I've made a great business with it. I don't feel the need to explain all of that to you for you to
Mhm.
judge me,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And it's annoying that you have to, describe what is it that you do and who you are. Like you're no one in the world without a title. Well, hello, my name is Jenise McBride, and this is what I love. And that's it. Like
Yeah,
that is draining.
yeah. That's what I had to kinda learn too when I'm doing this whole Sister Caroline stuff. It was uncomfortable for me to say that I'm the founder of it because I feel like
Mhm.
that is just too much. Like,
Yeah.
as someone who's introverted and who writes as a way to express how I'm feeling, now I have to show up and be in front of the camera and talk to people. I've just found that so intimidating. So now
Yeah.
I have to get in the mindset and get used to saying, "My name is Teisha Leshea, and I am the founder of Sister Carolines, and this is what it
Yeah.
is."
Yeah.
And with
Confidently.
titles, you can title yourself whatever you want.
Right. Honestly, you really
I mean,
could.
but besides your name, then whatever happens after your name, that's your business.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
like you said, people get caught up on titles,
And I
and I
think
think it's
especially here where I live. Where are you again?
I'm in California.
Oh, so you get it. I'm in Atlanta. So these titles are big deals. You go to meet and greet or hanging out with some people you never met before. And that's the thing they go to. They want to know who's who. And if you're not a who, then it's like you're kind of irrelevant. It's just like, who said though? How about I do many things though? That's the thing. I'm multifaceted. I'm a multi-creative. I don't want to be niched down. I might be known for this, but I'm so great at this too. And you might want that? So
Yeah,
I hope that
I
dynamic.
constantly I have to tell myself I am multi-hyphenate, multifaceted. My niche is that I don't have one. That's my niche, is I don't have a niche.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I learned many things about myself. It's I cannot fathom pigeonholing myself into one specific thing.
Yeah.
I could be a million things to a million different people depending on what you want from me. I could wear
Exactly.
many hats, and that is also the
Yeah.
power of womanhood. We are not one thing. We could be a protector and then we could be a lover, all within
Hmm.
15 minutes of each other.
Yes.
We know how to show up. We know how to compartmentalize. We know how to multitask. So, even me being in one category, I feel like that's a diss to myself because
Yeah.
I've learned so many things about myself and people that I can't. It's not in my nature to even do that. I don't want
So
to do that.
yeah. So with that even said, that makes me think about people who are multi-creatives and multifaceted. Have you seen that hinder you in what you're starting, or do you see that as like a superpower because it's just the creative flowing? Because I feel like when you go to like the corporate world or you think about business, right?
Hmm.
You think about you have to be niched in this arena, but you can branch off as long as it kind of meets in the middle. But what if you're so multi-creative that it's all these little things? You know what I mean?
I honestly think that's just the slavery of the system.
Yeah.
We were taught to work for other people.
Hmm.
And even with that, that is minimalizing because These people want you to come back to work and punch a clock.
Mhm.
So just imagine if people saw their true potential from the very beginning, they wouldn't have to work for that job.
Yeah.
So I think it's systematic for sure. Since grade school, you know, we're not the only way you'll know how to be a business owner is if you have to pay for the class. It's not in the general curriculum. We're
Right.
taught to work for others.
Mhm.
So even with that, that's just a pigeonhole within itself. Then you're spending 9 hours a day working for somebody else that when you get home, you're too tired to even dream because you're
Yeah.
so exhausted. So I
Yeah.
think for me, um, I'm all if I'm not welcome in the room, that's fine. I have the ability to build my own.
Mhm.
I try not to. I don't know if it's pride or ego, but handouts and asking folks for things is something I just can't do, especially if it's something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
I think those who I think I kind of had a problem with that earlier, like early on.
Mhm.
I feel like I had to separate who Sister Caroline's was and then who Lachey's Garden was. But
Okay.
I'm the same
Mhm.
person.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's like I'm a writer that's writing through my most vulnerable things, but I also can advocate for you.
So I feel like, yeah, so you get where I'm going with that because that's how I felt. It made me feel split at first
Yeah.
because I was known for angelically natural in the hair business for so long. My business became almost my identity, you know. It's been 10 years since I've been doing that business. And then when I filed for bankruptcy, I found myself having the name change. That's one because the name, it holds a lot of weight when you've been in this, business
Yes.
for so long, that brand,
Yes.
conglomerate. And then finding myself now wanting to write and to venture out into new things. And I felt split because it was just like, well, people don't know this part of me. I know I've always been there.
Mhm.
And then showing that part, I think that in itself was a pivot for me, you know? And it was like, how do I show this part and introduce this part of me to other people, but also
Mhm.
not with the expectation of it's gonna be this thing. I just tried
That's
to,
it.
yeah, you know what I mean?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think excuse me, for me, um, I think I had it all wrong. So again, since we're talking about pivot, I had to pivot my mindset. I was too busy trying to convince people that this is a space instead of just
Mhm.
being the space, and those who find you will find you.
Yeah.
If you just show up to be yourself,
That was so simple, but it was like,
just if I
yeah,
mean, doing you, other people were gonna see how well you're doing you, so they're gonna want to join.
yeah,
So it's like I
yeah.
trying to convince people that this is the space you should be in was taking up a lot of my creativity.
Yes,
So it's
it
like if I'm just
does. And that,
being in the space, those
mhm.
who are comfortable in that space will come. I just have to show up and just be.
It's like don't chase, attract, right?
Yes, that's
And I found
exactly.
myself doing the same thing, like, "Hi, see me," and all my posts was just coming out janky.
Yeah.
And, that's so true. I feel like people could feel that energetically, It
Yeah.
doesn't even need words that you're calling for attention, and when you do that, it's like you're chasing them down, you're not attracting the right attention you want to. Because sometimes you'll kinda get into this genre of people too, and be like, "Well, how did
Yes.
I get caught here?"
Yes.
Ugh, I don't wanna be stuck here. Like,
Yes. And it's like I'm just I think the pivot is more mental for me.
Yeah,
As a
it is.
someone who battles depression every day.
Yeah.
I always tell people that when I get out of bed, I'm fighting two people, and that's depression
Mhm.
and anxiety.
Yeah.
So the fact that I can get up out of bed and get dressed for the day, that's a step in the right direction because
Mhm.
there are days that are so hard.
Yeah.
So, somebody who is always negative self-talk,
Oh my
always so
gosh.
hard on myself.
Ruminating on all the bad things.
Yeah. Think, shoulda, coulda, woulda, thinking about the past.
Oh,
That
yeah.
does wear your mind, body, and spirit out.
Out.
And
Yeah.
so for me, just pivoting the mindset of I belong here and
Mhm.
just saying what's on my spirit has really, like you said, attracted people into my life that are helping me with the mission. You
Yeah.
know, and then I also had to learn is to be seen is to show up.
Yeah.
Like I can't
Yeah.
complain about not being seen if I don't go outside.
But that's such a big deal for someone dealing with anxiety. For me, I get anxiety over my posts, over what
Yeah.
I write, a video, but I just make myself do it each day. As gruesome
Yeah.
as it is, whether I get a like or not a like, I think that right there in itself is like, once you press post, I did it. Oh,
Exactly, exactly.
every
Yes.
single post. And so just that in itself is something to, be proud of, instead of looking for this big moment. I think every time I look for the big moment, it never comes. But
Right.
it comes when you're not looking for it,
It
right?
comes in
In
s
the
it's
weirdest
it comes
way.
in small
Yeah.
segments, and I think what I've learned from, therapy, I always ask my if once I get, like, hesitant to do something, I'm like, "But what if you did?"
Yeah.
And then I always lean into, "What if it did?" And I'm doing so many good things going off of
Yeah.
what if I did, and I did it. So it's
Mhm.
like it's always the internal battle of, "Should I go or shouldn't I go?"
Yeah.
But going will always give you the lesson. Not
Mhm.
going will always question what the lesson is.
Mm.
So doing the
Yeah.
thing will always provide you the clarity, even if it's not good or bad. Good, bad, if it hit, if it missed, there's always going to be wisdom there. But
Yeah.
not doing it at all will always keep you questioning on what the outcome will always be. So I need the answers. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to throw
Yeah.
it to the wall and see what sticks. And a lot of things that I'm throwing is sticking, not at the pace I would like.
Mhm.
It's a whole different thing about timing and when is it the right time. But
Mhm.
it's momentum, and I feel like slow momentum is better than none.
Right, I agree. I got my first paid subscriber. I didn't even announce that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
And so I
good.
was just like, that's momentum in the right direction as well. As much as I was throwing stuff at the wall and nothing catch, I'm like, okay, oh, okay, got something going. And so, I mean, it's like when you find a new platform, because Substack is, I'm pretty new here.
Yeah.
And just getting acclimated to learning the functions of the new system. That's one thing. At 40, we're still learning, right?
Oh, yeah.
We should be, because I don't even feel 40. I'm just like, what does that even mean? Should we
Yeah.
still? It can be frustrating though, because you're accustomed to a certain other platform. So took a while to shift and transition, here, but with a different mindset because I didn't want the mindset of the rat race of social media where
Yeah.
you have to continuously post all the time. I wanted it to be quality over quantity. And so I'm proud to say that's something I do
Mhm.
on this platform very well now. Like I figured out I'm a seasonal type person. I can't do everything all at once.
Right.
And so where was I even going with this?
Somewhere. We just gonna go with it.
We
Somewhere.
gonna go.
We gonna celebrate your subscriber, your paid subscriber. That's what we're doing.
Right, right. So I'm just like happy about that. I feel like I'm in a better place mentally than I was when I first started Substack, because I started Substack was to release a lot of grief
Oh, yeah.
and the depression I was going through. And I didn't want nobody to, I didn't have a following. So it's just like I could just write whatever I want on here,
Yeah,
Nobody's looking.
and to be
But
honest, I've been following you, I feel like from the beginning, and
uh-huh. Oh, thank you, Curtis. Uh-huh.
even in your notes, I'm seeing a difference.
Wow.
So, you know, like you said, some notes were a little bit hesitant, but I could read between the lines. Like, okay, girl, she
Yeah.
got it, but she not there yet.
Yes.
And now that I read your
Yes.
notes, I feel like you have arrived, and that's a beautiful
Oh,
place to
thank
be in.
you.
So I've noticed.
Yes, like
We're noticing.
warming up.
Yes,
Some
we're
people just
noticing.
go right at it, and I'm not that person. I told you I'm a step-by-step person.
Yeah,
So it's like the warmer it can get,
yeah,
the warmer.
for sure. And I think for me, I'm always censoring myself because I'm thinking about, okay, 10 years from now, if somebody were to Google me, I'm thinking like, dumb.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was censoring my voice. So
Exactly.
it's like, I want to say
What
it
I wanna say.
sucks. I want to
Yeah,
say today
I just
sucks.
wanna say what I wanna say. Shit.
And then me saying that has garnered all these slew of new subscribers that I've never thought I'll meet.
Yeah,
And that's
I don't
just
know if you
showing
had
up.
to do this mentally to do that. I had to go into rebel mode. I don't give a fuck,
Yeah.
just post it. Like,
Yes.
that
Yes.
helps, right? The fire under your ass, like, just put that shit out.
Right. But at the same time, you feel like you've been through enough to where it's like, it's an honor to even be at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
You fight for so long. The victory is that I can say what I want. Because look what I've
Yeah.
been through.
Right,
I'm
and this
deserving
is my
of this
story.
place right now.
Yeah, I
So I
agree.
think that's it too, just reflecting on your life and knowing or unknowingly know when you had to pivot, when you had to switch it up, when you had to, mindset changed,
Mhm.
friends you dealt with, you know,
Yeah.
times of isolation just to regroup and then come
Yeah.
back outside. That's all part of the pivot process.
Yeah, yeah, finding yourself and, who you are now versus who you were then. That's part of the a pivot too, identifying, well, who am I? What
Yeah,
do I like? How do I want to be seen?
that's
You
it.
know? And I think that was the warm up for me on this platform as well, because I don't know, I have like this idea about this platform. I don't know what God is doing on this platform, but this feels right. Like, all of it just feels right. Better. I kind of want to delete my other accounts, my Instagram and my Facebook, because it no longer like serves that part of me,
Right.
of who I was then than
Mhm.
who I am now. And I like who I am on here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the beauty of choice and growth, you
Mhm.
know, to see where you were and then where
Yeah.
you are now. It's a cause for celebration.
Yeah.
I know
This is growth. Yeah.
that's the main thing. If
Yeah.
you're not growing,
You're dying. That's what I say.
you need to check that soil because something not right. You need to work on some root work or something.
You're right.
So we're at the end of the live because
Oh,
I was
yes.
promised an hour and my voice is kind of like doing
Go
something.
in
I
and
don't know.
out.
Um, there was like one or two things you learned about pivoting. What would it be?
Um, ooh, one of them is that pivoting is uncomfortable, and it will be uncomfortable. And two, it's something that we will continually do. So we might as well get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's the only way we grow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
for me, I think being uncomfortable. allows you to reveal parts of yourself you didn't know existed.
Yeah.
Some people don't
Yeah.
know that they're a fighter or they're a believer until they had to do the hard left turn. And
Yeah.
then it's just now you and you
Yep.
when it comes to pivoting. You cannot
Literally.
blame anybody else.
Nope.
As much as easy as it is to blame 50, 11 people,
Mhm.
you can blame everyone in the world if you want to, but a decision has to be made. And you
Mhm.
have to have faith
Mhm.
and confident enough to what you're doing is for the better of you.
Right.
You and you only.
You and you only. And I feel like this is what they call midlife crisis. I
It
think I get
is.
it now.
I feel like I've been in the midlife for like
Yeah.
for a while.
Just wrote it down. I was like, I think that's what they meant by that because we're experiencing a newness that we've never experienced before, and it makes you question everything.
It's like I'm
You
going through
know?
adolescence again, puberty.
You said
Feels
like,
like
wait, what?
I'm going through puberty again. It's like this
Yeah, like an
metamorphosis.
adult purity,
Yeah.
even hormonal. Because I'm realizing I'm going through peri, honey.
Eh,
I'm like,
period.
oh, like this
Yes.
peri ain't no joke. I realized I started by 37 because I was experiencing all these hormonal changes that was
Mhm.
just so uncomfortable in the moodiness and all this other stuff. So yeah, honey, turning
Yeah.
40, it is a privilege, but I see why it's definitely a big milestone age that should be
Be
celebrated
celebrated
because it
for
wasn't
sure.
easy getting here.
Well, as always, if we I would love to keep this as a series because from our very first live, I feel like we're we're the same, just in
Yeah,
different places, different spaces, different times.
I believe it.
And I feel like we provide clarity to each other and also the ones that are watching us. So,
Mhm.
as always, I always appreciate you for
Same.
even I think you were like the first person to really talk to me consistently on this app. So, if you
Yeah,
didn't know that, I'm
same
telling you
here.
now. So, it's like I feel like we just have this friendship bond to where we understand, each other. So, I'm just
Yes.
thankful that you you give me the space to really talk things out. I think the reason
Yeah.
why we flow so much is because I don't know too much about nothing. I'm winging it just like everyone else.
Yep.
So what makes these conversations more clarity filled is that we can find our aha moments through the conversation. So I appreciate you taking the live with me today.
Same here, and thank you so much for having me on, and I look forward to doing more in the future. It's always a pleasure talking to a kindred soul and just doing some deep chats and deep thinking. I love those moments, and I don't have plenty of those with people I know personally. So I really do cherish these, and I look forward to do it again, sis. Let's keep it going.
Right. Okay. I'm I got ideas. I
I know you
flood you with
do.
ideas all the time. As usual, thank you guys for stopping in. We appreciate you so much. If you have not followed Miss Jenise McBride, please do. She be dropping some gems, and I hope you can catch them and put them in your pocket or something. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay.
All right, you too, love. You guys take care.
Bye bye.